Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to start chapter 12, friction. You might have seen a driver of a car or a truck slowing down the vehicle at traffic signal. You too slow down your bicycle when needed by applying brakes. Have you ever thought why a vehicle slows down when brakes are applied? Not only vehicles, any objects moving over the surface of another object slows down when no external force is applied on it. Finally, it stops. Have you ever not seen a moving ball on the ground stopping after some time? Why do we slip when we step on a banana peel? As you have seen in figure 12.1, the guy is slipped from a banana peel. Why is it difficult to walk on a smooth and wet floor? So you can see you will find the answer to such questions in this chapter. So there is 12.1 force of friction. Activity 12.1, gently push a book on the table. Figure 12.8 shows that you observe that it stops after moving for some distance. Repeat this activity pushing the book from the opposite direction. You can see it in 12.2b. Does the book stop this time too? Can we think of an explanation? Can we say that a force must be acting on the book opposing its motion? This force is called the force of friction. So you can see this is called the force of friction. So the figure shows friction opposes relative motion between the surface of the book and the table. So you saw that if we apply the force along the left, friction acts along the right. If we apply the force along the right, the friction acts along the left direction. So in both cases, the force opposes the motion of the book. The force of friction is always opposes the force applied. So in the above activity, the force of friction acts between the surface of the book and the surface of the table. Is the friction the same for all the surfaces? Does it depend on the smoothness of the surface? Let us find out. So 12.2, factor affecting friction. Activity 12.2, tie a string around a brick. Pull the brick by a spring balance. Figure 12.3 show that. You can see that here a brick is being pulled by spring balance. You need to apply some force. Note down the reading on the spring balance when the brick just begins to move. It gives you a measure of the force of friction between the surface of the brick and the floor. So now wrap a piece of polythene around the brick and repeat the activity. Do you observe any difference in the reading of the spring balance? In the above two cases, you might have be the reason for this difference. Repeat the activity by wrapping a piece of jute bag around the brick. What do you observe? So what is spring balance is given here? Spring balance is a device used for measuring the force acting on the object. So it consists of a coiled spring which gets stretched when a force is applied to it. Stretching of the spring is measured by a pointer moving on the graduated scale. The reading on the scale gives the magnitude of the force. So you can see here activity 12.3, make an inclined plane on a smooth floor or on a table. You may use a wooden board supported by bricks or books. So you can see in figure 12.4a, put a mark with a pen at any point A on the inclined plane. Now let a pencil cell move down from this point. How far does it move on the table before coming to rest? Note down the distance. Now spread a piece of cloth over the table. Make sure there is no wrinkles on the cloth. Try to do the activity again. So you can see 12.4, they are doing the activity. Mark A. You can see here the cell has gone till here, and with cloth it is still here. The distance, the pencil cell covers different distance on different surfaces. So you can see, repeat this activity. Spread a thin layer of sand over the table. Maintain the same slope throughout the activity. In which case is the distance covered the minimum? Why is the distance covered by the pencil cell different every time? Try to reason why. Discuss the result. So you can see here, does the distance covered depend on the nature of the surface on which the cell moves? Could the smoothness of the surface of the cell also affect the distance traveled by it? So Bojo says, I shall try the activity by wrapping a piece of sandpaper around the cell. So friction is caused by the irregularities on the two surfaces in contact. Even those surfaces which appear very smooth have a large number of minute irregularities on them. Figure 12.5 shows that irregularities on the two surfaces locks into one another. When we attempt to move any surface, we have to apply force to overcome interlocking. On rough surfaces, there are a large number of irregularities, so the force of friction is greater if a rough surface is involved. So you can see the surface of book, this is the surface of table. You can see here it is magnified, and you can see here the irregularities. So many irregularities. So we see that the friction is caused by the interlocking of irregularities in the two surfaces. It is obvious that the force of friction will increase if the two surfaces are pressed harder. You can experience it by dragging a mat when nobody is sitting on it and when a person is sitting on it. So you can see in figures 12.6 you have to push on a box to keep it moving. So recall your experience when last time you moved a heavy box from one place to another. If you have no such experience, get the experience now. What is easier, to move the box from rest or to move it when it is already in motion? So the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. On the other hand, the force required to keep the object moving with the same speed is a measure of sliding friction. So you can see sliding friction and static friction. When the box starts sliding, the contact points on its surface do not get enough time to lock into the contact point on the floor. So the sliding friction is slightly smaller than the static friction. And you find it somewhat easier to move the box already in motion than to get it started. So friction unnecessary evil. Recall now some of your experiences is it easier to hold a kulhar, earthen pot or a glass tumbler? So suppose that outer surface of the tumbler is greasy or has a thin layer of cooking oil on it. Would it become easier or it become easier to hold or difficult to hold? Just think, would it be possible to hold a glass at all if there is no friction? So recall also how difficult it is to move on a wet muddy track or wet marble floor. You can imagine being able to walk at all if there is no friction. So you can not write with pen or pencil if there was no friction. When your teacher is writing with chalk on the blackboard, its rough surface rubs off some chalk particles which stick to the blackboard. Could it happen if there is no friction between the chalk and the board? So you can see a nail is fixed on a wall due to friction. So you can see here, if the object started moving, it would never stop if there was no friction. So the object will not stop if there is no friction. Had there been no friction between the tires of the automobile and the road, they could not be started or stopped or turned to change the direction of motion. You could not fix a nail on the wall or tie a knot. Without friction, no building could be constructed. So you can see soles of shoe wear out due to friction. So the soles of shoes wear out because of the friction. On the other hand, friction is an evil too. If wear out the materials, whether they are screw, ball bearing or soles of shoes. You must have seen wear out tips of foot overbridge at railway station. So you have seen that. Friction can also produce heat. Vigorous rubbing of palm together for few minutes, as you can see in figure 12.9. How do you feel when you strike a matchstick against rough surface? It catches fire. So you have seen that in figure 12.10. You might have observed that the jar of a mixer becomes hot when it runs and for a few minutes, and you can cite various other examples in which the friction produces heats. So this girl is striking a matchbox producing fire by friction. So you can see by the help of friction the fire is produced. So in fact, when a machine is operated, heat generated causes much wastage of energy. We shall discuss the ways of minimizing friction in the following section. So you can see increasing and reducing friction. As you have seen in the previous section, friction is desirable in some situation. Have you ever thought why the sole of a shoe is grooved? So in 12.11a we can see that it is done to provide the shoe better grip on the floor so that you can move safely. Similarly, the threaded tires of car, trucks, bulldozers provide better grip with the ground. So you can see one is the sole of the shoe and second is the tire of the threaded tire is threaded to increase the friction. So we deliberately increase friction by using brake pads in the brake system of bicycle and automobiles. When you are riding a bicycle, the brake pad do not touch the wheels, but when you press the brake lever, this pad arrests the motion of the rim due to friction. The wheels stop moving. You might have seen the kabaddi player rub their hand with soil for a better grip for their opponent. So gymnasts also apply some coarse substance on their hand to increase friction for better grip. So in some situation, however, friction is undesirable, and we could we would want to minimize it. Why do you sprinkle fine powder on the carom board? So in figure 12.12 you can see that you might have noticed that when a few drops of oil is poured on the hinges of a door, the door moves smoothly. Bicycle and the motor machine mechanics use grease between the moving parts of the machine. In all the above cases, we want to reduce the friction in order to increase efficiency. When oil, grease or graphite is applied between the moving parts of the machine, a thin layer is formed there and moving surfaces do not directly rub each other, as you can see in figure 12.13. So you can see here, this is lubricant and this is the surface and this is surface number 2. So because of this, they do not touch each other. Interlocking of irregularities is avoided to a great extent. Movement becomes smooth. The substance which reduces friction are called a lubricant. In some machines, it may not be advisable to use oil as lubricant, and air cushion between the moving parts is used to reduce friction. So Bojo says, can we reduce friction to zero by polishing surface or using large amount of lubricants? So Paheli says friction can never be entirely eliminated. No surface is perfectly smooth. Some irregularities are always there. So 12.5, wheels reduce friction. So you must have seen attaches and other pieces of luggage fitted with roller. Even a child can push such pieces of luggage. So you can see in 12.4, a boy is pulling a trolley bag. So why is it so? Let us find out. So you can see rolling friction is applied here. So 12.4, take a few pencils which are cylindrical in shape, place them parallel to each other on a table, place a book over it. Now push the book. You observe the pencil rolling as the book moves. Now do you feel it easier to move the book in this way than to slide it? Do you think that resistance to the motion of the book has been reduced? Have you seen heavy machinery being moved by placing logs under it? So you must have seen that. So figure shows motion of the book on rollers. So when one body rolls over the surface of the another body, the resistance to its motion is called rolling friction. Rolling reduces friction. It is always easier to roll than to slide a body over another. So that is the reason it is convenient to pull luggage fitted with rollers. Can you now understand why the wheels is said to be one of the greatest inventions of mankind? Since the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction, sliding is replaced by most machines by rolling by the use of ball bearings. Common examples are the use of ball bearings between the hubs and the axles of ceiling fan and bicycles. You can see in 12.16. So you can see these are ball bearings fitted which reduces the friction. So 12.6, fluid friction. You know that air is very light and thin, yet it exerts frictional force on objects moving through it. So similarly, water and other liquid exert force of friction when object moves through them. In science, the common name of gases and liquids is fluids. So we can say that fluids exert force of friction on objects in motion through them. So the frictional force exerted by fuel is also called drag. So the frictional force of an object in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid. The frictional force also depend on the shape of the object and the nature of the fluid. So it is obvious that when objects move through fluids, they have to overcome friction acting on them. In this process, they lose energy. Efforts are therefore made to minimize friction. So objects are given special shapes. So special shapes are given to reduce friction. Where do you think scientists get hints for these special shapes? From nature, of course. Birds and fishes have to move about in fluids all the time. Their body must have evolved to shape which makes them lose less energy in overcoming friction. So you read about these shapes in class 6. Look carefully at the shape of an aeroplane. So you can see in 12.17. So you can see aeroplane and that of the bird. So you can see aeroplane is made in the same way as a bird to reduce friction. In fact, all vehicles are designed to have shapes which reduces fluid friction. So you can see 17 similarities in shapes of an aeroplane and the bird. So here the chapter is finished and we'll start the next chapter in the next class.